Hello, everyone. My guest today is Drew Sellers. He is building a company called Bonsai.io, a managed search engine for SaaS. Drew, you ready to take us to the top?
Absolutely. Let's go.
So what exactly does this mean? I mean, is this like Algolia competitor?
In a sense, but so the bigger way to think about this is we've all worked with developers. Inevitably, there's a piece of technology that they're new or that's novel to them. They get stuck on it and they spend days spinning their wheels trying to solve this problem. Our company comes in and just eradicates that as a problem for search engines specifically.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where the managed piece comes in.
What does that mean I don't understand, for search engines specifically? People building search engines?
So people are building an application. So let's say that you're building some new hot application that's going to show me all the best barbecue in Austin, Texas,
Yep.
or in the world. And I'm going to type in, Rudy's barbecue. Well, if I do a lowercase r and uppercase r, a database can't naturally figure out that those are the same thing. And so you need a separate piece of technology and tool set to find that search engines are idealized for this particular model.
Oh, I see. So you're selling to companies that use search for discovery, could be a restaurant or anybody else, and help
Yes.
them make sure that their metadata is formatted in a way to increase discoverability in the search engine.
Yeah. So real quick, a lot of developers have spent a lot of time working with databases. When you get to a search engine, it's a very different paradigm. And so you don't have a ton of experience. So we come in, I've heard this term like SaaS plus, where we're not just hosting the tools, like giving you that SaaS, like, pay a couple of dollars, get a thing. We also then go above and beyond providing a level of service. And this is where we kind of hang our hat on that managed aspect, because we're giving you, consulting in a sense. We're helping you understand how the tool works. We're basically like your go-to resource for understanding how this tool works.
What was that split last year? Total revenue last year, what percent was services versus SaaS?
So it's all bundled together into one. So we don't have a breakout. And
Got it. Okay. When did you launch the business? What year?
We launched in 2011.
2011. Okay. And walk me through those first couple customers. How'd you get them?
I mean, it's what everybody wants. It's the dream story. So we had an early partnership with a channel that in this case, we're talking about Heroku. So if you're a developer, you've probably heard of this. It's a platform for developers to run apps. And we were in the first cohort of add-ons. So if you're building an app and you wanted a database, there was an add-on for a database. If you wanted a full text search engine, our add-on was there on day one. And so we had customers coming in the door just from the get-go.
Are you still listed in like the Heroku App Exchange?
Very much so.
How many new leads or traffic do you get per month from that?
From a leads perspective, it's got to be, it's not something I look at anymore. It's going to be, it's probably in the hundreds, but you got to remember, it's a little bit opaque to us at times because of PR apps and CI builds. So this is one of the reasons we don't actively look at it.
Yeah.
It's just gotten really noisy.
Well, so how many customers are you serving now today?
We're serving, so we have about 1,600 paid and 4,000.
Oh, wow. Okay, interesting. So I want to go back to how you've built this sort of freemium model, but let's talk about the 1,600 paid right now for a second. What MRR are you now doing?
Our MRR is around 550K.
Oh, wow. This is super impressive, Drew. Congratulations.
Well, thank you. I'm just the guy kind of running the show. My CEO, Nick Zadrozny, is the guy that really took it from 0 to 100, and I'm trying to take it from 100 to 1,000.
I love that. I was going to say, I don't know if you listen to the show or not, but you know that I love founders that do this sort of thing, especially in a capital efficient way.
Yeah.
So are you capital efficient? Did you bootstrap?
Totally bootstrapped. I think our total initial investment was in the area of like $5,000. It was, it was two guys. They had just gotten done implementing. It's one of those kind of romantic stories where they had just done a search project and they happened to be in San Diego. I want to say the story is they were in San Diego. They were at a Ruby user group, and they got into the cab with a Heroku person and hit it off. And it was totally one of those serendipitous moments where they were like, hey, we need an add-on. Will you come and join in this thing? And they were like, well, this sounds awesome. Yeah, this is the cool thing to be in.
That's too funny. Okay, and what does growth look like? I mean, you're $550,000 a month today. Where were you in December of 2019?
December 2019, I want to say we were
about a year ago?
Our annual would have been like 4.9,
Okay, got it.
4.9 million.
Healthy growth. Where are most of these new customers today coming from? The Heroku Exchange or somewhere else?
They're actually referrals is our current big winner from lead generation perspective, and it's at our enterprise tier offering is really what's taking off for us. And so one of the things that's very unique about us is the level of support that we provide. So we've been around for 11 years. We've run Solar, we've run Elasticsearch, we know Lucene back and forth, which is the underlying thing providing the horsepower. Because we've been doing that for so long, when people show up, we're here to help you understand your problems. We oftentimes hear, I got more benefit out of this sales call that I just did with you than I did in this paid engagement with this other company.
We love that. I love hearing that. And so you guys have bootstrapped this. Walk me through the team dynamic. How many people total?
We have 14. And it's
total on the team, yeah.
It's 11 developers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 13 right now. We just hired our second salesperson, and they'll be starting this month, but we are otherwise 13 people, and 10 of them are engineers, and we have 3 non-engineering talent.
That's great. Now, the 2 sales folks that you have, do they both carry a quota?
Neither of them carry a quota today. We are very much this we're a little new agey, we're a little woo-woo, and we like thinking about what keeps people happy, what keeps people engaged. We have a 4-day work week. We have mental benefits. We have health benefits. We really invest back into our employees. And so my CEO is really good about always asking the question, what's the intent or the goal of this practice in the larger business? And is there a way that we can achieve it at a scale of 13 versus trying to cargo cult in an idea that's meant to be for a company of thousands?
Yeah. 13 people and 6 million in revenue. What is that? 450,000 revenue per employee. The average is 190. So, you guys you're doing something right. How do you get so much productivity out of these folks when they're only working 4 hours a week?
Yeah. So we are focused on our customers. So we have our help channel where people come in, and we don't just solve problems at the surface level. We get in, we engage with you. And because we're running your search engine, we can actually go and see everything. And we can go in and say this is a problem where the user had a configuration issue. And so we might need to work on our documentation, but we'll sit down and square them away. Oftentimes it's a technology thing, right? And we're all engineers, and there's no engineer in the world that likes repetitive tasks, right? There's a whole XKCD comic on should I automate or should I just do this manually? And over the 11 years, we've just been putting these little paper cuts in, right? Okay, cover this one. Okay, this is an Elasticsearch 2 problem. This is an Elasticsearch 6 problem. Okay, Band-Aid, and then do that for 11 years, and we get to stay focused on product and our customers.
Is it sticky? What's your churn rate today?
Churn rate is pretty much, if you start with us, you're not going to leave. I think that we've had 1 decent sized account churn, and we've had 1 small account churn in my 4 years here.
Do you measure that at all in terms of annual revenue churn or anything?
Since it's been up and to the right, we don't, it's not something that we've been successful. We've been really lucky in that our numbers have been up and to the right so substantially that we haven't necessarily had to focus on that. And let me ask a different
question. Expansion revenue. So a customer that you're upselling year over year, what % are you upselling customers year over year currently?
I don't know that. That's a great.
Okay.
I don't.
Let me ask it a different way. You went from 4.4 million run rate to a $6 million run rate. How much of that growth over the last 12 months came from upselling existing customers versus new customers altogether? Do you know?
It would be predominantly new customers.
Interesting. And how many new customers did you add over the past 12 months?
Would be maybe 100.
Interesting. And so as we wrap up here, referral program, do you incentivize referrals at all? Is there an affiliate program?
Not today. It's something that we're actively looking into.
So what do you mean when you say referrals are your number 1 growth channel?
So we have, when word of mouth, when people leave a company and go to their next job, they bring us with them.
Okay, that makes sense. And you obviously have the benefit of 11 years of history. So there's a lot of job changes happening in there.
Yeah. And that's one of our big things is we have 1 customer that we've been with for the last 6 years. We've been through 3 search teams. And as each search team comes on board, we can effectively pass on that knowledge to that next team.
Mhm. And what are you spending to get a new customer that pays you, 300, $400 a month?
We don't.
No
That's one
salespeople.
of our problems, to be fair. Like besides the sales, and he's mostly handling inbound sales right now. We're about to turn on outbound sales for the first time. But this is one of our problems is that we aren't spending enough in marketing and in sales. And that's one of the goals for this year.
Interesting. Any plans to raise, or you like the bootstrap life?
We love the bootstrap life. It lets us stay 100% focused on the customer.
Yeah, we love that. Okay, let's wrap up here, Drew, with the famous five. Number one, favorite business book.
Creating the Corporate Future by Russell Ackoff.
Number two, is there a CEO you're following or studying?
No, I try to just learn from everybody, but I will say that I quote from What is Strategy by not Paul Krugman. Anyways, I love Southwest's model. There's a bunch of stories that I quote from Southwest.
Yep. Number three, what's your favorite online tool for building? You're talking about Herb Teller, I think, right? Southwest?
No.
No, okay.
I like the Southwest story. So it'd be the early stuff. So it's probably Herb, but I study the business versus the person.
I see. Okay. Number three, what's your favorite online tool for building bonsai?
Rome Research right now.
Interesting. Not a Notion guy, huh?
Mm-mm.
All right. Any Rome Research tattoos anywhere on you yet?
No, not at all.
It's a crazy culture.
I love it though. Love it.
And you're in Austin. Are you in Austin?
I am, sir.
Yeah. So Nat Eliason obviously is down there and does a lot of Rome tutorials. He's creating a course. We're actually having a meetup on Thursday at my house. So you should come if you're free. I'll send you an invite.
Oh, I'd love that. I just got done going through his course.
Oh, very cool. Perfect. Small world. How many hours of sleep are you getting every night?
8 to 9.
And what's your situation? Married, single, kids?
Single. That's how I get 8 to 9.
No kids. And how are you?
42.
42. Last question, Drew. What's something you wish you knew when you were 20?
Oh, man. Learning how to take more risks.
That's a good one. Guys, founded 11 years ago. The company is now doing $6 million in terms of run rate, bootstrapped up from 4 million about 12, 13 months ago. They're a tool that helps businesses understand how they show up in search, optimize how they show up so they can get more leads, more traffic, and ultimately more sales. Over 4,000 free users and about 1,600 customers, mostly developers using the platform as they look to scale and continue to scale in app exchanges, referral programs, and otherwise. Drew, thanks for taking us to the top.
Thank you. Have a great day.
One more thing before you go. We have a brand new show every Thursday at 1 p.m. Central. It's called Shark Tank for SaaS. We call it Deal or Bust. One founder comes on, 3 hungry buyers. They try and do a deal live, and the founder shares back-end dashboards, their expenses, their revenue, ARPU, CAC, LTV, you name it, they share it. And the buyers try and make a deal live. It is fun to watch every Thursday, 1 p.m. Central. Additionally, remember, these recorded founder interviews go live. We release them here on YouTube every day at 2 p.m. Central. To make sure you don't miss any of that, make sure you click the subscribe button below here on YouTube, the big red button, and then click the little bell notification to make sure you get notifications when we do go live. I wouldn't want you to miss breaking news in the SaaS world, whether it's an acquisition, a big fundraise, a big sale, a big profitability statement, or something else. I don't want you to miss it. Additionally, if you want to take this conversation deeper and further, we have by far the largest private Slack community for B2B SaaS founders. You want to get in there. We've probably talked about your tool if you're running a company or your firm if you're investing. You can go in there and quickly search and see what people are saying. Sign up for that at nathanlatka.com/Slack. In the meantime, I'm hanging out with you here on YouTube. I'll be in the comments for the next 30 minutes. Feel free to let me know what you thought about this episode. And if you enjoyed it, click the thumbs up. We get a lot of haters that are mad at how aggressive I am on these shows, but I do it so that we can all learn. We have to counter those people. We got to push them away. Click the thumbs up below to counter them and know